So, DevBlog 40 has came out, and just to clarify, I already read through this entire thing, and it would just kind of note my opinions on it and thoughts on the information that has been spat at us this month. So through this list, we have clarification of rotation system being worked on with new designs, new all that, which is great to hear. Working on the packy headbutt, fixing a bit. Same with the thrashing, also not working a bit. More, rather than even just fixing, like tweaking and working a bit more with the vomit. Just in general, the vomit mechanic in general. Set up the animations with the dinosaurs in game. Some banana trees into Gateway, which is awesome. Bananas as new diet. Interesting why bananas. Currently, it doesn't seem like there's any herbivore right now that would eat bananas, but more environmental stuff. Probably yeah, that's great. That's great. New locational effects. With this pretty cool. We've seen this in the recent streams from Dondi, with like the duckweed from the swamps, and also the blood from Amarok's stream. The other stuff, not much, but still really, really nice. Love it. The destructible fences, we also saw that on stream. The pouncing, we saw kinda. And also like the movement of the Omniraptor, which was not mentioned, but like the pouncing, you really just also a little bit in the Dondi stream too, with just the pounce looking more refined in how it looks overall. This I'm not completely sure what it means. When I first read this, I'm like, wait, they're adding a pattern C? Nah, that doesn't look like it. So, I don't know. I'm not sure what this is, but hey, I hope it's something that's actually genuinely nice. And then just general balance issues. That's nice. Good old classic. Now some more Herrera stuff. Great image, by the way. Awesome. But yeah, kind of just popped into my head that with the mutations and what is it? The locational effects being worked on, even though they're like mutations are not shown here, but they're supposed to be like, yeah, they're probably like here rather than here. It's just the locational materials effects stage 2, which is interesting for me. It is quite interesting how they're working this all out. But I will mention more on like how they're, because with this devblog we have seen a more conclusive look on how they're actually are doing the updating, because with the new roadmap they kind of mentioned their new style of updating rather than clipping everything. It's just like when it's released. But yeah, I will talk about this later. I'm gonna go through the rest of the devblog first, but just keep that in mind. But yeah, there have been working more on the mechanics of, just the dive bombing hug of death from the Herrera. And this, pretty cool. I really like that there's more, since usually people use chat, you know, you will eventually make a noise while typing something out, which someone in a jungle or forest could hear, and they go ahead and, start running out of the jungle or something, and, mission failed. But this is a pretty cool thing with that, with their dewlap that's not shown here, but that's like a little silent communication thing, which is just awesome. And also you could just goof around and just keep like tinkering. We haven't, they didn't show what it specifically is, but still pretty nice. And then we go to our good old environmental artist who does usually human stuff. With working on the finishing up the pistol with all the attachments that he mentioned the two dev blogs ago. Like he was working on it, and now he's working on a pump action, which is great. But nothing much else, just the cool images. I'm not that big of a person on the human stuff, but for all those people who are really want it, yeah, humans are slowly being developed. And also the with the with the kit for the buildings, so when eventually when the devs release the mods, so people could like tinker with the internal resources of the game or additional stuff onto it. It's like, this is an example of like what they could just actually make out of all the Lego box of building pieces, which is cool to hear that the devs are making some sort of effort for making it easier for, the community having fun with their game, but still having the way they want it, like in more of their control than anything. But it's still awesome. Will be great for like map designs by, eventually by map makers, modders. Sound design, Dilo and Diablo, more refining their sounds. This has been a thing for like the past 2 dev blogs, which, good that it's working on. There's only a few things left out for Dilo and Diablo with their sounds, and working on their two, what is it? Their two special ability / mechanics, also that create sounds, which also was mentioned in like a previous devblog. But yeah, it's pretty nice to see more progress on the Diablosaurus. Why did I say Diablosaurus? I'm stupid. Diablosaurus. Okay, whatever. Just Diablo, Dilo, and Herrerasaurus, and John Cake. Yes, great. Just humans, which is also surprising. I think that's what he means by that. But yeah, he mentioned this before, with just Diablo having so many animations because of the sparring system. I imagine they might, with him doing this for Diablo, might be easier for like other Ceratopsians, like Triceratops, which is gonna be the next one. And then, just working more on Dilo. But this right here, big smack dab of just stuff. Still interesting how much time it is actually taking up for them to definitely miserably sift through all the applicants And then the QA team working on these following things. Migrations, kind of surprising. Like when I first read it, I kind of glossed through it, but then when it was mentioned multiple times, I'm like, oh wait, it's being worked on currently? Hallucinations 2. I think he also, yeah, mentioned the last DevBlog with the roadmap, where I was talking about this right there. No, right there. There we go. Keep messing it up. This is while they're not introducing all of this in a single update, it's like it seems like they're still working on every single one of the things, and it's like eventually one inches to like, oh, it's finally complete, then they push it out, but then another thing is almost done, which seems like with this system, this is what I'm getting from this, is that one sec, so it's like they're working on, for example, these are not the examples that we're in, it's like, oh yeah, working on these 3 dynos and all of these things. Sort of whitelist was probably, they just added in there just so it's like, oh yeah, there we go, we finally completed it. Which came out July. But it's like all of these, so it's like this is 90% finished, 80, 75, 70, right, or whatever, or 60. Then this is like also 90, like 85, and then 80% finished. So like they slowly go up together. Even like some of this stuff, like migration of that, it's like they're like many of these things are probably being worked on, right? At some point, maybe not this or like the Apex system, you know, stuff like that, but some aspects. Right now they are focusing on these 3, and then gateway and kind of gateway related stuff. The mutations and elder system was not put in here just because it's like a very broad thing that, like mentioned here, is just also being worked on. Which also is being worked on. So it seems like they're kind of, like back to the percentage thing, is that they're similarly in completion, like eventually, and then they're gonna, one releases in a week, and then another releases in 2 weeks, and then another in another week, maybe. Not maybe that close, I don't know. But like, there will be like nothing, like no updates. Like only, we didn't have the last update was July, 21st? With the server whitelist, I think 21st? Doesn't really matter. You know, the server whitelist, which was not that much, but it was good for server owners. Custom community, whatever, good community servers. But they kind of released that. That was so basically a month without an update, which is alright. Interesting, or one gateway, but it's just like, from this part here, it seems like it's gonna be more of, jeez, I keep like saying stuff and then just spilling out of words and then having to repeat again, jeez. And I'm doing it right now, oh my gosh. It's kind of late for me, so this is miserable. Yay, Isle. The Isle, such a healthy game to be attached to. Is that it will be, you know, empty stuff, rapid pace of similarly finished stuff, like releasing in like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks from each other, kind of like spit it through, and then more months. But not in that duress. Now I'm kind of thinking of it as like this. This is worked on, migrations is worked on, these 3, and then slightly these 2, very minimal. So they're probably saying way less into what their process actually is and what they're actually fully doing. You know, this is more of like kind of a general summarization of what they're actually doing. So it might not be like that. Now I don't know why that was whole ran for, because now just trying to talk about it made me realize it's just, I don't think it's that extreme of what I was thinking of, like blank pause, rapid amounts of updates in like a month or two, like in a span of a month or 2 or 3, and then more like empty months. But never mind, that was kind of a useless rant. Very dumb of me. But yeah, more talking about the hallucinations. This was like a little, the fog effect, that was nice to see. And then this was like a little aha from me. It's like, of course. Like this was like spit, you know, put around like people suggested or just mentions like that's probably what they might do. And yeah, they're actually doing that, which might be their own original thought of like already wanting to do that, or they're like, you know what, this is a pretty interesting idea. They just more on the ability of the Dilophosaurus hallucination. Yeah, this latter half of it talked a little bit about Diabloceratops. More about Herrerasaurus with the way its dive bomb, in quotes, attack works with like the higher you are, it does more damage, which is pretty nice. Really interesting dynamics with all of the three right now with their mechanics, which I bet they're gonna be freakishly fun, I swear. Especially on Gateway. Um, yeah, Gateway and migrations being worked on more. If you know, they did mention like about like Gateway literally making, will just make everything feel better and nicer, which that's what I've been always preaching. Migrations also will add on top of that, just like pushing people around instead of, you know, this basically. Freaking Spyro. Hate this thing so much. And then this final part of, you know, mutations being worked on more than I actually expected. Like we also saw it a bit in the recent streams in the past, what, 2 days? With just more stuff, even like this, also kind of intrigued me. Performing certain actions, where is it? Yeah, just all the, it's very interesting. I'm very curious how they're planning out to make coastal environments more fun and interesting. And, you know, you could actually, you know, get your thirst up without having to go back inland and then come back to the coastal area to have more coastal environment stuff. Hopefully coasts will actually feel nice. But yeah, very curious in how diverse they're gonna make the whole mutations thing with, like recently, like after this devlog, like some people were like, oh yeah, just like Path of Titans and Beast of Bermuda, but I don't know. This feels more survival aspect-y rather than Path of Titans is more like combat based. And then I don't even know about Beast of Bermuda. I haven't touched that game at all. But yeah, overall, especially like this whole chunk right here, really gave insight on what they're directly working on, what they're planning on to be what next is released, which is like these three dinosaurs, Gateway. We've seen the weather system in on streams. Nothing on really night vision. Not sure about why it's grouped up with Venom finalizations, but I guess that's for Dilo. The locational effects, which are pretty cool, I would say. Migration is also being worked on because it's pretty attached to Gateway, but now with that, Gateway still could be released alone. So we're getting this is a, I would say, pretty informational devlog. Just fun stuff here, but this part from Hypno just fully just blasted us with a bunch of information showing like what this devlog is supposed to be, more of like what they're actually, all the chunks of like, yeah, this is what we're doing, and it's going smoothly. Especially with the recent streams in the past 2 days, you know, the time of releasing this video. Which, yeah, this devlog, I would give this like an 8 out of 10. Some devlogs before were downers. The previous one was pretty good. It was like a 7 out of 10 for me. But yeah, that's pretty much for this video. Could say what your thoughts on this devlogs are, or anything I've missed that might be intriguing. I don't know. I might have not missed much. I just missed like saying it, but I read through the entire thing. It's just nothing is popping into my mind anymore. But yeah. Oh, you could actually watch the trailer. Okay. Jeez, I'm really bad at this. This is why I'm better with scripted videos. Even with that, I have to struggle with it. Anyway, see ya.